Good evening. I'm Attorney Robert Patillo, and this is Robert's Rules. Right now in America, we're having a debate about critical race theory, what it is and what it isn't. Much fear-mongering is going on, and many families are protesting at city council meetings and school board meetings, saying they do not want their children indoctrinated by this malicious form of education. But is there any truth to this? Joining us tonight to discuss this issue, from the left, we have civil rights attorney and Southeast Regional Director for the Rainbow Push Coalition, Attorney Robert Patillo. And from the right, we have radio show host and political activist, conservative, Attorney Robert Patillo. Thank you for joining me tonight, gentlemen. Our first question goes to you, Attorney Patillo. What is critical race theory? Thank you so much, Robert, for having me, and I think it's a great discussion, but I would implore to my friend Robert on the other side of the aisle, look, right now in the black community, racism and white supremacy is the least of our concerns. It's a canard that is put out there by Democrats. They roll it out there every 2 years or 4 years when it's election season. They get really big and incensed about it, and then they do nothing about it. Do you know why? Because they simply need to use black voters as their political pawns. They have no interest in actually helping the black community. Look at the condition of most black communities, where you have a Democratic mayor, Democratic city council, Democratic county commission, Democratic alderman, Democratic wardsman, and everything else up and down the lines, and look at those communities. If simply the solution to racism in this country was just to vote Democrat, then those problems would have been solved a long time ago. The truth is, they like to keep you concentrated on racism and conservatives and quote unquote the Tea Party and white supremacy, so you do not have to look at them for the failures that they have created with their socialism programs and their Marxism that are trying to indoctrinate us into. All they think they have to do is give people money, just pour other people's money into communities. It'll make it better. We've been doing since the 1960s, and things continue to be in the exact same condition they have always been into. And critical race theory is just another attempt to indoctrinate people into this victim mentality so they can never get up and stand up and fight back against Democrats and their system of control, which they want to turn us into communist China and North Korea and Venezuela. Some of us believe in freedom and will never stand down to their mob. But Attorney Patillo, who should make the final decision on this? Who should determine what goes into these curriculum? Thank you so much, Robert, and thank you for hosting this conversation, because I think it's a crucial thing that we have to talk about. Right now, Republicans and conservatives are fighting this battle against critical race theory because literally in the 2020 campaign cycle, they had absolutely no platform. They are not running as national security conservatives anymore. They aren't running as Christian and family values conservatives. They are now only running as culture war conservatives. So everything has to be about transgenders running track. It has to be about woke corporations. Now hold on. Let's get the other side in on this. Let's get the other side in on this briefly. Then I'll come back to you, Attorney Patillo. Look, I don't care what you call what they're teaching. What they are teaching right now, they're trying to teach young people to hate America. They're trying to teach them to become victims. They're trying to create the next generation of socialists and Marxists and communists who do not believe in a hard day's work, do not believe they can achieve anything, and think the government is the only ones who can dole out and pick winners and losers. Right now in this country, we need to have a mentality of victors, not victims. And Democrats don't want black children to believe that. They want to believe that they need Democrats to give them things, because if Democrats aren't giving them things, they have no reason to vote for Democrats. That is utter and complete nonsense, and we all know that. It is not about hating white people. When we say that America has its roots in racism, we don't mean that every single white person to ever walk the face of the earth in America has been racist. What we mean is that it was built off of taking lands from Native Americans. It was built with the blood, sweat, and tears of African American slaves. The railroads were connected by Chinese immigrants. Its fields have been worked by Mexican American and Latin American workers through the last century. But despite this, they have not been exposed to the full value and the full strength of the American dream. So if we are going to create that dream and give everybody access to what America is supposed to be, we have to face the root causes of their condition right now. Instead of simply concentrating on the failures of communities today, what we have to be doing is looking at the systemic issues that resulted them being in that condition. That's the way to ameliorate that. And we have to create a level playing field going forward, and the only way to do that is to recognize America's past and put into place programs that can fix those things going forward and give everybody equal access to the American dream. Thank you. We'll be back with more of Robert's Rule after the break.